we go on with today's program, because it's 11:30 a.m. Nigerian time, we still have to discuss issues around President Tinubu's palliative plans, but we're looking precisely at the public transportation plan, talking about the CNG buses. And I have the special advisor to the president on media and publicity here joining me, Ajuri Ngalale. Hello, Ajuri, and welcome to the show.
Always great to be with you, Nancy. Thank you for having me.
Likewise, having you here. Now, let's get started with President Tinubu's plans. Of course, we heard the broadcast on July 31 at 7 p.m. That day, when the president came up with different palliatives for especially MSMEs, right, then the transport sector, then agric as well as health, agric, education and health in different states. But I want us to really center around the public transportation plan. How is this plan going to work out?
Thanks, Nancy. You know, so His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is very much aware, acutely so, of the multifarious challenges, economic challenges facing our people. And he knows that one of the areas where the shoe has really been pinching the foot of Nigerians is the issue of the removal of the subsidy and the rising costs of energy in the country, which is why, as part of the set of palliative measures that were announced in his most recent address, he really zeroed in on the 100 billion naira investment that he's making in the procurement of 3,000 CNG fueled buses. But more than that, it's one thing to provide buses to transportation companies across all urban centers, across all states of the Federation, which is one part of it. It's another part entirely, though, to ensure that you have the supply that will now satisfy the demand that's created by the availability of these buses. So the president, of course, operating through the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, is partnered with NIPCO, an indigenous company that already has 14 CNG filling stations in the country. In fact, they're kind of the first mover in the country when it comes to CNG. They started in 2009. So in our agreement with them, what we have agreed is that they're going to establish between two phases 56 new CNG filling stations nationwide. In phase one, where it's going to be 21 filling stations that would have been established by the end of the first quarter of 2024. That's approximately 9 months from now. And then phase two is 35 additional CNG filling stations, making 56 altogether by the end of the first quarter of 2025, essentially the president's midterm. Now, in addition to this, it's one thing to provide the filling stations. It's another thing entirely to ensure that you have the feedstock of gas required to get to these various filling points, which is why the president has ensured that we have an articulated set of gas pipelines that will feed these stations, as well as what we call virtual pipelines. The virtual pipelines being trucking networks of trucks that will be distributing the CNG from location to location to ensure that the entire system works. But we're working with the state governments, Nancy, to ensure that even as we deal with the issue of supply, that on the demand side, it's not going to be just buses that we're providing. It's also going to be Nigerians and their cars. The president has in collaboration with NIPCO and some other investors that are coming in, which we will announce in due course, we're going to be putting together these, CNG conversion kit fitting facilities nationwide, where you'll be able to take your keke napep, your Okada, your saloon car, or your truck, or whatever form of vehicle you have, to that place, and then they will be able to fit the conversion kit onto your vehicle. So that's another part of it. How we're going to try and make that cheap are two different ways. The president, we know that when we've talked about this in the past, it's always been shown that CNG kits are quite expensive. So what we're doing are two major things. One is we're working with this, we're going to provide zero customs duties and zero VAT on all conversion kits being imported into the country. That should automatically, from the outset, drop the end consumer's cost implication. In addition to that, we're also going to ensure that we provide a financing mechanism through through banking partners that we're going to be working with, so that a Nigerian who's earning, for example, 100,000 naira a month or 60,000 naira a month, for example, will be able to take out a facility over, say, 5 or 8 years at a single-digit interest rate, and he'll be able to gradually, within his own comfort zone, her comfort zone, pay whether it's 5,000 naira a month or 10,000 naira a month until that conversion kit is paid off. Because we're seeing that paying for a CNG compliant vehicle, will be looking at anywhere between, depending on market conditions, 150 naira per liter to 250 naira per liter for CNG, as against 617 naira per liter for PMS. So over the long run, you're obviously looking at a massive savings.
Okay, let me take you up on a few things you've said.
Right.
From now till then, because the president mentioned even March 2024 during his speech about 7 days ago, how can Nigerians between now and 2024, when all these plans will crystallize, and I'm also very sure that even after March 2024, the plans will still be on.
Absolutely.
Now the fuel subsidy is gone, prices will be adjusted as international price or Brent gets adjusted.
Absolutely.
That means that Nigerians would even buy fuel at higher prices than what it is right now.
That's right.
So how can vehicle owners even go now? You mentioned NIPCO, and I'm aware of that. How can vehicle owners go right now that are willing to convert? Because I also do know during Buhari's government, Minister Silva, at that point in time, of course, we had the gas plan in 2020. Minister Silva also mentioned things like that, but we didn't see the end of it. Yeah, so how can Nigerians now take advantage of that, bearing in mind the cost, because the cost to even convert a petrol engine to CNG engine now is about 300,000 naira averagely. Yeah, so how can they get that done even before the financing or facility or whatever it is comes in?
Right. So as we speak right now, we have NIPCO has already, I think they have about, if I'm not mistaken, between 6 and 9 facilities around the country where they're already